Hello friends, welcome to next lecture in kinematics of machines. So in this lecture we'll be seeing what is inversions of double slider crank chain. So in this we'll be seeing the elliptical trammel, the Scotch yoke mechanism and Oldham's couplings, which are inversions of double slider crank chain. So please stay tuned with this video lecture. So before we start, I request you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not yet subscribed. Please like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. The links are in the description below. So friends, let us see first what is a double slider crank chain. So a double slider crank chain is a mechanism again having four links, but unlike single slider crank chain, we have double sliders in this mechanism, and both the sliders are connected with a connecting rod, and these two sliders slide in two separate cylinders which are considered as fixed, and they are the first link. So together those cylinders will be a single link and they will be fixed. So that way we have elliptical trammel, we have Scotch yoke mechanism, we have Oldham's coupling. So in this lecture we'll be seeing one by one these three inversions. So in the inversions of double slider crank chain we get three inversions. So let us see what are these one by one. So here we have the elliptical trammel. So we have a mechanism as shown in this figure. So there are four links. So link 4 is a frame. So frame is a plus arrangement. You can see here plus like frame, and it is slotted in between. Link 1 and 3 are the sliders. So this is link 1 and this is link 3. Both are the sliders, and these sliders slide vertically and horizontally. That is link 3 slides vertically and link 1 slides horizontally. Link 2 is connecting between link 1 and 3, and this is extended further till point C, so that when link 3 and 1, so when link 3 and link 1 start sliding in the slots, this point C draws an ellipse. So this link which we have, that is link number 2, will try to draw an ellipse as this slider slides. So if you see here, when this slider is in the center, that is slider number 1 is in the center, slider number 3 will be at this top position, and this point C will be exactly at this position. So by now it has already traced this part of the ellipse. Now as this slider from the center position moves towards the right, the slider from this top position tries and comes in the center over here. So at that position this point C will reach this position over here. So from here it will trace another half or 1/4 of the ellipse. Next, the slider which is sliding vertically from center moves below, and this slider starts sliding towards left, and as this horizontal slider reaches the center and vertical slider reaches the bottom, this point C will be reaching over here. So it will trace another 1/4 of the ellipse. Next, as this slider from top starts again sliding upwards, the horizontal slider over here from center will slide towards left, and thereby point C will reach at this position. So at this position it will again trace 1/4 of the ellipse, and then when this slider goes again on top and this slider starts coming in between here, the point again moves on top here and it completes a complete ellipse. So here this is the elliptical trammel. So let us see this with the equation. So here we'll consider this position. So let this link to make angle theta with the x-axis. The semi-minor axis BC, that is from B to C, is A. So let us consider this length as A, that is from B to C, this is A. Then let semi-major axis of the ellipse, that is A to C, so this complete length A to C be B. So from point A to point C, let this length be B. The coordinates of this point C are X and Y. So now we'll write the equations. So for these variables which we have assumed, that is let the BC be A, AC be equal to B, let this link make an angle theta, and the coordinates of points are X and Y. So I'll just write down those values. So here if you see, we have this B to C. From B, this point, that is this distance is x. So I have already marked this as x. So x upon BC will be equal to cos of theta. That is adjacent side upon hypotenuse will be equal to cos of theta. So I have written that equation cos of theta. So here x upon BC is equal to cos theta. Now similarly we can also write this as x upon A is equal to cos theta, right? Because BC is equal to A. So I have written x upon A as cos theta. Also we have y upon AC is equal to sin theta. So let us see how we get this y upon AC as sin theta. So if you see here, this is y and this is AC. So opposite side upon the hypotenuse will give you sine of this angle theta. So y upon AC is equal to sin theta. So I have written this y upon AC is equal to sin theta. This can be written as y upon B is equal to sin theta. So I'll consider this as equation 1 and this as equation number 2. Now from 1 and 2 I can write x square upon A square will be equal to or plus y square upon B square is equal to 1, right? Because x square upon A square will be cos square theta and y square upon B square will be sin square theta, and this will be equal to 1. So I can write x square upon A square plus y square upon B square is equal to 1. So this satisfies the equation of the ellipse. So if you show this equation upon explaining what is the elliptical trammel, this will prove that the point C traces an ellipse. So this is about the elliptical trammel. So next we shall see what is Scotch yoke mechanism. So here we have the Scotch yoke mechanism. So this inversion was obtained when link number 1, that is the slider, is fixed. So we fix this slider. So here we have the link number 1. So one of the slider remains fixed. So the other slider will slide in this frame. And this is pivoted to the frame 1. Now link 2 is the crank and that rotates completely. So this link 2 rotates completely. So rotation of this link 2 will make the slider 2 oscillate in this frame. And since this link 2 will also rotate in circular, so this point 3 will also move in circular motion. Thereby at every instance the slider will try to push this T frame in this fixed link 1. So there will be oscillatory motion of this T frame. So let us see this. So the rotation of link 2 makes link 3 to slide in the frame. Link 4, the frame thus reciprocates here. Rotary motion is converted into reciprocating motion. That is, when there is circular motion of this crank, we will have reciprocating motion of this link number 4. So link number 1 is fixed and there is a slot in link number 1, and this link number 4 will oscillate in this link number 1, and link number 1 is also slotted so that this piston will move in this link number 1. So one of the piston or slider remains fixed and it is pivoted at A. So as this crank rotates in the circular direction, this particular T slot will oscillate in this link number 1. So for elliptical trammel and Scotch yoke mechanism, I have put the links in the description. So you can just go through those links, you can click them and watch the animations. So for elliptical trammel and Scotch yoke mechanism. So the next inversion is the Oldham's coupling. So this is the third inversion of double slider crank mechanism in Oldham's coupling. So this is used to connect two parallel shafts whose axes are at small distance apart, not large but very small distance apart. So here link 2 is the frame. So this link 2 is the frame and is fixed. Link 3 comprises of a driving shaft. So this is link 3 that comprises of a driving shaft. It is fitted to a flange having a diametrical slot. So there is a flange which has the diametrical slot. So you have a small slot exactly in the center or in the diameter. Link 1 comprises of a driven shaft fitted with a flange also having a diametrical slot on its face. So here this link number 1 also has a flange and that has a diametrical slot on its face. Now this link number 4 is a circular plate. So I have shown here is a circular plate having tongues. Now since on the flanges there were slots, on this particular circular plate there are protrusions called as tongues. So this tongues, that is one in the x direction and one in the y direction, are at right angles on opposite side. So if this face has the slot in x direction, the opposite face has the slot in y direction. So when driving shaft rotates through certain angle, so when this shaft rotates to a certain angle, so this particular tongue will make this this particular slot in this flange will make this tongue to push. Thereby this tongue will also slide in this particular flange and make this shaft to rotate. So thus at what angle this shaft rotates, the same angle the second shaft also rotates. So this is about Oldham's coupling. So the animation to Oldham's coupling also have put a link in the description. So you can just click on the link and see the animation of Oldham's coupling. So friends, these are the 3 inversions of double slider crank chain. So if you have understood the video, please like and share this video with your friends. Please subscribe to this channel and please like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. The links are in the description below. So thank you very much friends.